Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR.
Tony, you're on with Mark and Meatball.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. Well, CEO for All Elite Wrestling, AEW, getting ready for the Dynamite 5th Anniversary live event from Pittsburgh. Welcome back to the Rocker Morning Show, man.
It's great to be back on. Thanks for having me on to talk about this Wednesday night AEW Dynamite 5th Anniversary show, celebrating 5 years of AEW, 8 p.m. this Wednesday on TBS. It's going to be awesome.
This is, it is incredible to me how big AEW has gotten in just, this short amount of time, especially with Dynamite now being your premier show and stuff. What do you attribute to, the success and fast growth of this product?
Well, I think that there's great wrestling fans all over the world. It's really helped us expand quickly. Now AEW Dynamite is on in 150 countries all over the world. And over the past 5 years, we've had so many great moments on the show. And this Wednesday, 8 p.m. on TBS, we're going to celebrate not only 5 great years so far of AEW, but many, many great years to come for All Elite Wrestling on TBS. And I think, really, wrestling is just such a great sport. All of us have friends that watch wrestling, know people that watch it. A lot of us watch it ourselves. And, it's just something that stays with us. I think it's an itch that us wrestling fans always need to scratch. And I personally have grown up just loving it my whole life. And that's why I wanted to launch a wrestling league like AEW. And that's why I'm so excited about how much it's grown over the past 5 years.
It's interesting you mentioned, you're in, would you say 150 different countries? Is that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. The expansion and introduction of wrestling to a lot of different countries seems to have brought in a lot of international talent too for AEW and other, wrestling companies as well. Do you think that, insertion of the product of wrestling into these other countries is what has really kind of exploded its interest in the past few years?
I do think that bringing wrestling to new countries all over the world has definitely grown the international market. And here in North America, it's really seen a resurgence to pro wrestling business in recent years. And I think AEW All Elite Wrestling is a big part of that conversation since we launched. The last 5 years have been a great time for wrestling, and I expect many, many more for AEW and all of wrestling.
Oh, man. And that show that just happened at Wembley, I mean, it was so electric. The crowd over there is just incredible.
Yeah. AEW All In at Wembley Stadium was a fantastic show. And to me, one of my favorite moments, not only in wrestling, but in my entire life, was when Bryan Danielson won the AEW World title with his family at ringside, and they all celebrated together. It was a beautiful moment, and that was just a few weeks ago, and it's amazing how much has happened in AEW and in wrestling since then. That betrayal of Bryan Danielson, and now a huge grudge match coming up for him October 12th on pay-per-view, Danielson versus Moxley.
Yeah, and for this show especially, you're promising some massive matches this week, but only announced a few of them. Will Ospreay flying in from the UK to defend the international title against one of my favorites, Ricochet, which is a huge acquire. That guy is just massive.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great, great point. Those are two of the best free agents we've ever signed, and they're going one-on-one this Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on TBS for the International Championship. Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. It's such a huge match. It's one of the best rivalries. These might be the two greatest high flyers in all of wrestling, and this is going to be such an exciting match coming up on Wednesday night. I can't wait.
That's one of those matches too. I think, even if it, a typical match is like, 20 minutes or something, you can get a really good match in like 20, 30 minutes. I would be completely fine if that match ended up going an hour or something. I know, Ricochet and Will probably would like to end it a little sooner than that, but
absolutely. Well, they could wrestle all night, and I know I would be glued to the set. That is just, to me, arguably one of the best rivalries and two of the greatest high flyers ever, but also they're fighting for a great championship, the AEW International title, like you were talking about. Will Ospreay went to Wembley Stadium in London and won the championship back in his home country, and he's flying back to defend that title. And, man, these are two of our most popular stars, and I think that, like you said, this is just one of those dream matches that, I think could go for a long time, could be a great fight, and it's exactly the kind of huge match that we want to have on our 5th anniversary show on Wednesday night.
And then the other one that has been announced is Serena Deeb and Dr. Britt Baker, which I think is going to be a ton of fun. I want to ask this. Is this really true that Dr. Baker is a real dentist and she's actually working this week in her dentist's office before this match?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, a licensed dentist, one of the great AEW original stars from the very beginning since we launched the promotion. And it'll be the doctor versus the professor on Wednesday. Dr. Baker, who is a licensed dentist and a great wrestling champion and great star in AEW, taking on the professor, who is one of the best minds in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
We've seen Serena Deeb just red hot, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, and I think that's going to be a great match. Dr. Britt Baker versus Serena Deeb this Wednesday on the AEW Dynamite 5th anniversary show. We're also coming off one of our biggest episodes all year, the AEW Grand Slam. And this Saturday on the Grand Slam Collision, leading into this Wednesday's anniversary show, in addition to those great matches that you just brought up, I'm really excited about Ospreay versus Ricochet for the international title. I'm really excited about Professor Serena Deeb versus Dr. Britt Baker. Also, very pumped, we just announced that Hangman Page will take on Juice Robinson.
Oh, man.
Cool.
It's an awesome match.
Yeah.
And that's coming out of this Saturday's Collision. We saw in New York City that lumberjack strap match, and Hangman put the noose on Juice, and I can't wait to see that match Wednesday night on TBS, Hangman versus Juice.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I know you're still putting the card together, and you just announced a match there that we didn't know about going into this interview. We expect to see an appearance from Bryan Danielson probably in there as well. Any other surprises that you might have up your sleeve for Wednesday?
Well, I'm excited about what you just said. I cannot wait to get the AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson back out there after he returned to the ring last week on Grand Slam. So great to see Bryan Danielson again. It was the first time we had seen Bryan since he was betrayed by Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, his best friends. And ahead of AEW Wrestle Dream, you better believe Bryan Danielson's going to be at this anniversary show. He's got a lot on his mind, and I think he's looking for a fight. And there's a lot to come this Wednesday night for that anniversary show. So I would definitely recommend everybody stay tuned. It's a great time in AEW right now, and we have a lot to celebrate this Wednesday on TBS.
Something that recently popped into my mind, back in 2020, there was a tour announced at the Wings Event Center here in Kalamazoo. It was going to be Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling for their War of the Worlds 2020 tour. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but at the time, I don't think you had much involvement with Ring of Honor. Now, do you think something like that could happen one day where maybe both Ring of Honor and AEW kind of team up with New Japan and do a tour like that?
Yeah, I would love to do that. It's absolutely something we're interested in. And I think the War of the Worlds concept, there's definitely something to it. And, we built something really special now with Forbidden Door coming to North America and now expanding into Europe, and also with AEW going over to New Japan to compete at Wrestle Dynasty. We've got a great collaboration with New Japan. I would love to expand it. You're absolutely right that a few years ago we hadn't started working together, and it's kind of amazing just in the past few years how much AEW has been able to do in terms of collaborating with other international wrestling promotions like New Japan and Lucha Libre in Mexico, and really growing the business overseas and teaming up with the best international wrestling promotions and putting on these great matches.
Yeah. The expansion of AEW has been awesome. you've got a lot on your plate with AEW. You also, before we let you go, you're the chief football strategy officer with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which off to a bit of a rough start this year, I think. But you guys are making the trip up here to Detroit to play the Lions in November. You think you're going to be ready for that Ford Field environment?
It's a challenging game, absolutely. And it's a very tough place to play, and the Lions are a great team. So it's going to be a very tough game, absolutely. But I am looking forward to coming up there. It's a great place to play, and I have a lot of friends in that organization, and look forward to that game, and should be a tough one, absolutely.
Well, I hope you guys have a great season with the Jags, and hopefully maybe we'll bump into you in Detroit, and looking forward to the AEW Dynamite 5th anniversary show. It's this Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, TBS. Tony Khan, congrats on 5 years of AEW. We cannot wait to see the show and look forward to talking to you again and watching your success with the company grow, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and see you this Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on TBS. Thanks for having me on to talk about our 5th anniversary, and hopefully see you guys soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sounds great, man.
Thanks, Tony.
With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows the resourceful individual to earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with the handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Get the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth for just $5 a month. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.